My name is Emma. My age is 37. My husband's name is Michael, who is 19 years older than me. We got married when he was 59, and I feel incredibly fortunate to have spent 19 years of my life with him. We have two beautiful daughters. My older daughter, Sophia, is 18 years old, and my second daughter, Lila, is just a year old. We lived a rather challenging life. Michael worked, and I stayed home, taking care of the children and managing the house. That was enough for me at the time, but over the years it became painful. I've been left emotionally scarred by everything that happened. One day, I discovered something devastating. My husband had another girlfriend. I was completely shocked. I had been living with this man for so long, believing that he was mine, that he loved me. But now I had doubts. So I confronted him. I asked, "Michael, do you have a girlfriend? Is this true?" He quickly responded, "You're creating problems for no reason." Yet deep down, I felt something wasn't right, and I couldn't shake the feeling that he was lying. One night, driven by the need for the truth, I grabbed his phone and started going through his messages. When he found out, he became furious. He yelled, "What are you doing looking through my phone? What right do you have?" I was terrified, but my need for the truth was overwhelming. Later, I decided to check his phone bill, and I noticed an unfamiliar number he called almost daily. I called the number, and a woman answered. She said, "I'm Michael's girlfriend." She was around my age, also married and had children. She told me, "It's not my fault if your husband is interested in me." I had had enough. I had given Michael all I could, and now it was clear to me. He had crossed a line. He didn't even seem to care. When I confronted him, he lost his temper again. "I'll end it when I want to. You don't control me," he said. I was heartbroken for one simple reason. This wasn't the first time Michael had cheated on me. He had cheated on me years ago, while I was pregnant with Sophia, and now he was doing it again. He thought he could get away with it. He had the audacity to cheat on me while neglecting our daughter, Lila. He had no time for her, but he was always pursuing his other affairs. He was still on leave from work but spent little time at home, and now he was working at a campus, barely noticing Lila. We were in the process of paying off an apartment together. It was our home, but we were struggling financially. The responsibility of raising our children and managing our finances fell on me, while Michael seemed oblivious to it all. He acted as if he could do whatever he pleased, even boasting, "I might have another woman if I want." He had no regard for anyone's feelings, not even mine. Eventually, when everything seemed to settle down, he turned to our daughter and shouted at her, saying, "Dad, that's not fair. Stop it." Then, with a deep breath, he began to lash out at her with harsh words and anger. One night, Michael didn't come home. He said he would be out late, but then, not a single word or message all night. I stayed up, filled with fear, wondering if he would ever return. And when he finally came home, it was well past midnight, closer to morning. His face was filled with anger and impatience. He was irritated by everything, and when I tried to ask him questions, he shut me down. There was one time when he said he was leaving. I threatened him and told him he wouldn't like it if I left with him. I said, "You claim you're leaving, but no one is going with you." It was strange how that seemed to ease some of his frustration. I then asked, "Don't you mind if I come along?" I quickly realized he was throwing money away, and month after month, I noticed our finances dwindling. I would tease him, saying, "Come on, bring home some decent cash." He always brushed it off, saying, "Don't worry, I'll handle it." Deep down, I had a feeling something wasn't right. He seemed to be spending money freely, almost as if it were disposable. But when I checked our accounts, I knew he was seeing her. The more he spent on her, the less there was for the family, less for the kids, less for our home. I had reached my limit. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, and was constantly exhausted. The doctor advised me to rest because the stress was taking its toll. But how could I when my husband's girlfriend was taking advantage of him, and my family needed money to survive? It felt like my life was falling apart. The weight of it all hurt so much, and I stopped smiling. Sometimes I would go out just to talk with friends, sharing what I could, feeling sorry for Michael, even though I didn't fully understand why he acted the way he did. I could tell Lila was confused. She was so small and didn't know what was happening. On the other hand, I often thought about the family life I had once dreamed of, surrounded by love in a tight-knit home. But now, that dream was shattered. I shared everything with my closest friend, and it was her suggestion that I finally leave Michael. But part of me felt trapped. We needed him, especially with our financial situation, and I couldn't raise the children on my own. I couldn't stop working. My family tells me to stay strong, reminding me that maybe Michael will change and return to us. But I'm not sure. I'm afraid he'll never change and will always choose her over us. I don't know what to do. I feel weak, sad, and lost. And yet, in the middle of it all, I still love Michael. Maybe one day, he'll come home and remember his family and forget about her. If that happens, then maybe it will be for the best, as God knows what's truly best for us. I lie in the dark, hoping to escape. I keep telling myself that these kinds of things don't happen just once.